everyone, so welcome to my 10 cards 1 kit part 1 video for Simon Says Stamps May 2018 Kind Heart Kit. So let's just start by taking a quick look at what's in the kit. There's a bunch of pattern papers. One thing that I like about the pattern papers in this kit, there's one sheet that has a bunch of sayings on them, and another thing I like is that the stickers have sayings on them as well. So you can actually use this kit as an opportunity to bring out your inner poet and, make some fun cards that, are also poetic. So I tried to do that a couple of times here. Well, not tried, I guess it just happened. Anyway, let's start with card 1. For card 1, I took one of the leaf stamps from the kit and I'm just gonna stamp it all over the back of this card panel with Versamark clear ink, and then I'm going to use white embossing powder and then heat set it. And then we're going to go over the entire panel with the Spring Rain ink that is in the kit. It's like a really, really pretty aqua color. So I just paused the audio to answer that very important text. What happened was, so I took one of those tests on Facebook that says, what would you look like if you were a man? Because I guess I just had to know. And my result came out where I look like Joe Pesci, and I was mortified. So I called one of my friends and just asked her to check, do a Joe Pesci check on my page for me and make sure that it wasn't there. And I just got the text back that it looks like I'm all clear, so the world won't know what I would look like as a man, which is good. All right, so let's get back to the card. And here I am just taking that green ink that's in the kit, and I'm starting from the middle whenever I start inking, and then I'm just going to go towards the outside because I wanted the middle to be a little bit darker. No real reason, just for the heck of it. Now I'm going to take the heart die that comes with the kit, and I'm going to cut that out and then pop it up on top of 4 layers of 110-pound Neenah cardstock. And then I use the other part of the heart die where you can actually see the word heart spelt, and attaching that to the green layer, and then I'm going to put the green layer on top of the 4 white layers so that they are elevated a little bit from the top of the card. I'm just putting a little thin black border around the card panel just so that it ties in together with the sentiment. Now we're going to put that whole panel on a white card base, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment, which says, I think, I love your kind, and then it'll go above the heart, so it says I love your kind heart. And I'm just going to use white embossing powder again and heat set it. I made 2 sentiments because I find that, I always end up messing one sentiment up. So this way, have the heat gun out. You might as well do it 2 at once and then pick the better of the 2. Now we're just going to decorate the card, and I'm just using a bunch of the stickers from the kit, and I'm attaching the different floral elements and then the hearts just in a diagonal pattern across the card panel. And I'm sticking with grays and turquoises and blues and some greens. And then I thought it needed a little something to tie it together to the black, so I got out my black Nouveau drops, and I'm just gonna add a few of them in all different sizes, following that same diagonal pattern. And then that is going to complete card 1. All right, so moving on to card 2, I'm going to use the grid die by Mama Elephant. It's one of my favorite frames, and I use it often. And I took one of the pieces of pattern paper from the kit to make the frame, and then I am just tracing in the squares on the card base where the frame is going to sit, just because I'm going to do some pattern piecing, and I want to make sure that I cover up the the holes in the grid to make sure that there's no white from the underlying card showing through. So here I'm using the piece of pattern paper from the kit that has a whole bunch of sayings. Some of them are inspirational, some of them are encouraging. I tried to stick with the encouraging ones because I wanted to make an encouragement card. And when you see the sentiments that I chose in a minute, you'll see it. This is kind of a card that's good to give to someone who, you know, is going through some type of breakup. You know, there's a bunch of sayings about, you know, kind of hang in there. And then also, you know, you're strong, you have courage, etc., etc. And then I also took another piece of pattern paper that had a bunch of hearts on it, and I made little squares with that and put those in some of the boxes too, so that it wasn't just words all over the page, that there's kind of a mixture of images and then the little mini poems or little inspirational sayings. And now I am going to take the frame and put some acetate behind it and then pop that up on one layer of foam tape. There's nothing inside the card, but I just think that whenever I use this grid die, I like it to be somewhat set apart from the underlying panel. It just, in my view, it just makes it look better. It makes it look more finished. So that's what we're doing here, and I was very happy. I got, you know, you really only get one try to put the panel on when you have this foam tape because the adhesive is so strong, and I got it just perfect. So I was very happy. All right, now I'm going to take some stickers from the kit and just decorate the top of the card. So the main theme of this card, I guess, it says not easy but worth it. And then the little poet in me came out, and I found one of the hearts that said love. So I'm like, ooh, I can stick that in the corner. And then it says, you know, love, not easy but worth it, and then tie together all the sentiments. And so there it is. There is card 2. And now let's move on to card 3. For card 3, I am just going to cut out one of the pieces of pattern paper on a diagonal along with the heart sentiment. And I'll show you why in a second. So this is just a straight paper piecing card. There's no coloring or anything on this one. I just use the pattern paper in the kit, the sentiments in the kit, and then I just kind of put everything together. So I have a large panel, I have a small panel, and for each of those panels, I'm going to back them with a zigzag border, and the die that I'm using is from Lawn Fawn. And now we're just going to start, well, we're not going to go where I thought we were going. We're going to work on the sentiment. And I'm using one of the sentiments in the kit, and I think this one says, let's see, you have a beautiful, and then underneath it is going to be heart. And again, I'm going to stamp it twice because also I find with these really, really small sentiments that sometimes, you know, it takes a few tries before you get a good, a nice clear image of it. So I stamped it twice, and then I just picked the best of those. Here, I cut out the heart word in gold glitter paper by Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just going to attach that to the border that we cut out, and then I'm going to attach all that to another 4 layers of the same background die that I cut out on Nina cardstock, 110 pounds, so that, again, this is going to be another instance where we have the sentiment kind of popping up from the card panel. All right, so here for the focal panel, I'm just going to pop that up on foam tape. I'm also going to pop up the sentiment that is going to be above the word heart with 1 layer of foam tape, just so that it all sticks out from the card panel. And then here, my inner poet came out again, and this one says, you have a beautiful heart. And then that little sticker says, this is everything. So again, a nice little card to, you know, give to a friend or to someone that you think fondly of. And I just decorated the card with some of the stickers in the kit, and that is it. So moving on to the last card for today. This one, I took one of the images from the kit and I colored it in Copic markers, both the image itself as well as the background. And I put a little shadow in Copic markers underneath the flower pot. I didn't show the coloring just because, you know, time is short today. And what I'm doing here, I am using a rectangular die, but I ended up cutting it again on both sides to make it narrow. So, you know, it's just a way to show you another way to use your dies. You may have a die that's a rectangle, but you may need a narrower strip that you're looking for, and you can use that same rectangle to get that effect if you just die cut it several times. So that's what I did there. Now we're going to use a sentiment from the large stamp set in the kit that says "Miss You Like Crazy," and we're going to emboss that with gold embossing powder, and then heat set it, and then attach everything to the card base. And here I am, I probably, if I had this to do again, I wouldn't have done this, but I inked up 2 of the hearts that are in the kit, and then I went over them with clear embossing powder. I wasn't so crazy about the placement, so I covered up some of them with some stickers, as you'll see in a moment. So the rest of this card is just, you know, pure paper piecing. So while that unfolds on screen, I'll just tell you about what else is to come for this series, for this 10 cards 1 kit series for this card kit. So this is part 1. There'll be a part 2 and a part 3. Part 2 should be up later this week, and there'll be another 4 to 5 cards. And then hopefully by the weekend, I will have up the finale video, which will be the final 1 or 2 cards, and then the story time video for this kit. And the story this time, we've already recorded the audio for it. So it's a really, really fun video. This might be my favorite yet. And given that the theme of this kit is called Kind Heart, I thought that we should stick with that love theme. So the topic that we're going to explore in the storytime video is soulmates. So you will learn all about what, you know, my views of soulmates. And the title of the video is Disco Kryptonite. In the meantime, I'd like to hear what you all think about soulmates and what your philosophies are. So please drop me a note in the comments and let me know. For example, do you believe in soulmates? Or do you think if you spend enough time with anyone that you have similar interests with, you could probably get along with them and live with them? Second, if you do believe in soulmates, do you think you only get one per lifetime, or do you think that you can have many? Can you have more than one at a time? And have you found your soulmate? And if so, how did you know? So think about those questions, and if you'd like to share any of your views, please drop me a comment. Actually, drop everybody who views these videos a comment, and let's get a conversation going. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you in a few days with the next video.